And Patrick.
How you guys been? You guys are back at it again on the same stage.
I've been great, really great.
It's great to see you guys. I got a question for you. My question is the following. Let's just say, Sammy, today, you're the underboss of the Gambino family in 2024. Michael, you are with the Colombo family, one of the highest earners, making $10 million a week, $8 to $10 million a month, whatever kind of money you were making, you were doing very well. If today the Democratic Party hired a guy named George, let's call his last name Soros, and he came up to you and he said, Sammy, Michael, I'm going to give you guys $20 million to help us win the election in the following states. I don't care how you do it. Don't tell me how you do it. I need these 3 states. How would you do it? Michael, I'll come to you first, and then Sami, I'll go to you next.
How would we do it?
How would you do it? If you can keep the mic a little closer, Mike, how would you do it?
Well, let me tell you this. Back in the day, anybody that we were able to corrupt, they were always a Democrat. Anybody that we were able to corrupt politically was always the Democrats. Couldn't touch the Republicans back then. It was always the Democrats. They were easier to corrupt. That's the truth. So if Soros were to give me $1 million, I got to be honest with you, Patrick. The way the government is today, you couldn't give me any amount of money to keep these people in power today because they're destroying our country. Destroying our country. You know what? I've said this recently. We did our thing on the street, and we're not angels. You know, Sammy will verify that. We weren't angels, but we would never do to the country what these people in office are doing now. No doubt about it. Amen. We wouldn't be out there hurting our children. We wouldn't be going for gender-affirming surgery in minors. We wouldn't do it. And quite honestly, and Sammy will verify this, we weren't big drug dealers. We wouldn't allow fentanyl to come over this country, to come into our neighborhoods and communities and destroy our people. We wouldn't do it. So what we would probably do is take the $1 million from Soros, and then Sammy would kill him, and that would be the end of it. Be all done.
It's the story that has went viral all over social media. A McDonald's employee who was blessed by an unsuspected stranger.
You got it. I mean,
it's important for the viewers. This is an exercise. This is not real. Folks, it's a hypothetical question. Don't overreact. He's just giving a hypothetical. Yes. Sammy, how would you go about it? Again, be a devil's advocate. $10 million, you got to help him win the election. How would you do it?
Let me tell you.
Keep a little closer if you can keep the mic.
Let me tell you a small little story. One of my guys came to me and said, Sammy, there's a guy who wants to give us $25,000 to kill his wife. We don't do that. But I turned around and I said, listen, tell him to give you $12,500 before we do it, and after we do it, we'll give him the other $12,500. And the guy who was in my crew said, Sammy, I thought we don't do that. I said, we're not. We're going to take the $12,500. We're never giving it back. And we're going to tell him, if you want to leave your wife, divorce her in a court of law. So giving me millions of dollars to betray my country, to be honest, Michael is right. I would have told him, okay, give me part of it up front, and then I'll betray the country. And he would be dead. So, you know, and I look at this election and what's going on, and talk about gangsters and stuff like that. We were totally different than everybody else. I think Michael could verify this. We know crime. We've done crime. So when I see Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, I know exactly what they do and what they're doing. We've done it on a very small scale. It never hurt the whole country. These people are so greedy that they look at us, no matter whether you're black, Hispanic, white, man, woman, no matter what your religion is, we're all dirt to them. They want white liberal elites want to run the country, control it, take all of the money, and they want us completely helpless. That's why all this racist shit comes out and everything else. They got pit men against women, all kinds of different things. They tell women that Trump is going to take away your right. He took it away from the government. The government don't have the right to do that. And he gave it to the states. You still have a right to get an abortion. They lie about everything they say. And they try to pit men against women and all of the races and all these problems. And the more we argue and fight amongst each other, the easier it is for them to take everything. So I could go on and on and on, but I think Patrick will never invite me back. He can't do nothing about it now. He can't. I got guys in the audience. He can't get me off. But I'm going to back up.
Can you guys believe how much inflation has destroyed the dollar? You used to be able to murder your wife for $25,000. You can't even get a meeting with a killer for $25,000 today.
That's a discounted price. But Patrick,
That's a discounted price.
I have a question to ask. I have a question to ask everyone. And I really want you to answer me on this. Show of hands or whatever. Joe Biden, the information that I have had 3 racketeering indictments, 2 federal and 1 state, 1 brought on by Rudy Giuliani. I know that statute inside out and upside down. Trump was recently, they're accusing him of going on a revenge tour, that he's going to take revenge all the people that have come after him. And somebody asked me about that, Patrick, and I said, no, it's not revenge, but it's justice. Our people in power should not be able to get away with this stuff because we as American citizens paid for it. Now, I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. The information that the GOP, the Congress, has brought out against Joe Biden, the $27 million that went through all of these shell companies. He had 21 shell companies. I had 18. I know exactly the deal. These companies had no brick and mortar. They had no employees. They did nothing but collect illegal money. The guy is absolutely, there's enough information there to indict him for a racketeering case. I'm not saying he was convicted. Everybody gets their day in court, but indictment guaranteed. Why should our elected officials that we put our trust in, why should they get away with this? There should be a precedent set. I don't want to see him go to jail. He's too old. But he should be held accountable for his actions, just like every one of them. Let me ask you this. Nancy Pelosi, I have a little bit of a thing with her because her father was hooked up with the mob in Baltimore. Sammy, am I right? He got elected as mayor because we gave him help at that time. Nancy Pelosi has his characteristics. The woman has made $400 to $500 million. She's the best stock trader in the entire world. Okay, we go to jail for that, insider trading. Should they be held accountable for this or should they not?
There we go, absolutely.
Okay, that's it. Sammy, what do you think?
I agree with it 100%.
Thank you.
Like I said, we see this. We've dealt with it. We know what it's like. And it's right in front of our faces. And like I said, what confuses us is they have everybody arguing about something. And they just do what they got to do. I mean, they're telling people, women, you have no rights. That's the biggest bullshit question I've ever seen in my life. I mean, I watch television, there's a woman narrator, and 3 women guests. They're all over the place in everything, and they should be. And what they're feeding you is garbage. You can't do what you want to do with your body. That is so fake, it's ridiculous.
Sammy, I got a question for you. A story came out with you that you tried to bribe Trump, but he wouldn't budge.
That's right.
And this story came out in New York Post, I believe, just a couple days ago. You talked about this a little bit earlier as well. You and I have spoken about this before. What happened when you tried to bribe Trump?
Well, something came out in the New York Post today. Years ago, when I was in power, I was the underboss of the Gambino family. I ran unions in New York, and I was successful in everything I did. Then I turned around and I tried to reach Trump and try to bribe him to make him do some things with me. And I could have helped him with the unions, in business, all kinds of ways. He wouldn't do it. He just wouldn't do it. And it would have benefited him a lot. So finally, I gave up. And my guys told me, Sammy, let's go up his office. I said, no. Everybody around him is an ex-FBI agent. We'll go up there. We'll threaten him. We'll be in jail before we could finish talking. Fuck him. Let's just go on to the people we're working with. We don't need to do this. He was with the biggest gangster, or one of the biggest gangsters in that time. He wouldn't be bribed. So I had told the person who asked me, I said, listen, we blew him off. He was a rich guy. He didn't need to do anything. He didn't want to do anything. And he wouldn't take a bribe. He was a legitimate guy, and I went further.
Did you guys hear what he just said? So he had an opportunity to do business with them, but he wouldn't take the bribe for nothing.
Yeah, he would not take a bribe. He would not do anything illegitimate. And I'll tell you one more quick story. I was saying basically after I went to Arizona in my son's restaurant, Steve Wynn sent down 2 FBI agents to talk to me, and they wanted me to tell them that I did things with Donald Trump. And I said, I never did anything illegitimate with him. They wanted him to lose his license in the casinos that he had. And he said, Steve Wynn will be very, very happy if you have something to say about him. So I told the agents, you want me to lie? And they said, come on, Sammy, we can't tell you to lie. Okay, then what is Steve Wynn going to give me? If he loses his license, this is very big for Steve Wynn. So do I get a huge job, a piece of his casino? What does he want to give me? And they said, Sammy, we can't get into all of that. Then I said, good, get the fuck out. Trump is a legitimate guy, period. And I'm not doing nothing. You can't bribe me. You can't do anything.
Wait, did you just say Steve Wynn's people try to bribe you to say bad things about Trump, and he said, no, you have nothing to tell him?
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
Is that story public?
I think you're breaking news now.
I think we're breaking news. Wherever Steve Wynn is, there's a famous line I was about to say, but I'll skip it because my kids are here. You can say it if you want to say it, but that was an interesting thing right here. I'll pause. Michael, any final thoughts? I know I wanted to bring you guys up to kind of give you a perspective. I want to go to the next 2 guests. Do you have any final thoughts with everything that's going on?
Well, let me tell you this. When you got 2 former gangsters telling you that this administration is the most gangster we've ever seen in our lives, you know that we really got problems. So, no, I got to tell you this, and I really mean this. You know, Sammy and I are throwing our weight. Everybody we know from the street is throwing their weight behind Trump. He's the best good gangster that we've ever seen in our lives, let me tell you. And that's what we need in this country right now. We need strength through peace. We need somebody strong to stand up against China and Russia and Iran and all of this stuff that's going on. We need to shut this border down. I want to tell you this. People, I want to tell you this. Sammy and I, we have this all worked out. If Trump has any faith in us, I tell you this, we would have the National Guard along the entire border and tell everybody point blank, you come in with any drug, any fentanyl, anything, you're going to get shot. That's the end of it. People, seriously, we have to stop what's going on here. If Trump doesn't win tonight, people, I'm not a fatalist. Everybody in this panel will probably be okay, but we're really worried about our children, our grandchildren, and all of you out there. and we got to pray that Trump wins tonight. That's it. And like I said, he'll be a good gangster for all of us. That much I could say.
Give it up, Sammy the Bull and Michael Francis.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, Sam.